It's like a pizza crunch without the batter. It's like the work juice without the water. You never get the knickers off of fucking just premeditated batter. Premeditated batter.
What is happening to your time? Are you mostly a businessman now, or you kind of 50-50 that and DJing?
50-50, mate.
Is it 50-50? Are you finding the time to spread it?
Well, I need to try and do as much as I can with the business, man. It was obviously because of fucking lockdown and that. Are we allowed to swear in this, by the way?
Of course, man. Fuck the police.
I know, I've watched enough, I should know.
Aye.
But with lockdown and that, that's why we opened it, man. We just set a wee business up, man, tried to get it going, but it's took up most of my time, man. Aye, but I've got Marky Boy helping me, man, so we're alright.
Is it just the two of you that's doing it?
No, we've got me, Mark, a couple of lassies that work for us, Tegan, Kaylee. So it's 4 or 5 years.
Well, there's a numbers it's not just on your shoulders, man. That's probably a bonus, man, because as you say, see if you need to go and do DJ events and that kind of thing, man, it's like you need to have somebody that can run the place while you're away.
That's the big man, He sorts me out, man.
Oh, really? Are you the man in charge? The right hand man?
Sometimes, mate, aye.
When August tits up, he's no.
He drives an he's a good driver, mate.
Good stuff, man.
You know what I mean?
Fucking don't talk to me about driving, man. I fucking passed my theory last week like that, buzzing.
I know, that's well good, mate.
And then
aye.
fucking, I only revised like a few days before it. And then I passed, it was like a result, booked a driving lesson for the day and fucking 2 o'clock it was. I don't know, see whenever I get a time and I need to note it down, my brain always shoots an hour ahead. I think it's all the coffee I drink or something like that, man. But I get home and I was like, it was 2 o'clock and I went for a shite and I was like, know what, I'll leave my phone and I'll take the book in because if I've got my phone I'll look at it. Went in, done a shite, came out at 25 past, I had a missed call, phoned the driving instructor, I was trying to phone you, I was outside, I'm like, fucking all the time.
Did you miss it? Aye.
I missed it, aye. Next Wednesday's the next one.
Jesus, man.
Murder, man.
Is that my fault?
No, it's my fault. It was my arse's fault, to be honest, if we want to actually blame something.
Aye, brilliant, man.
But how's life been with yourself anyway?
Aye, good, mate. Like I said, just trip my way, man. Doing the gigs, staying in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting old now, mate. So
what age are you now?
Aye. What age you want, mate?
I'll give a minute to lie.
37, mate.
37? Fuck's
aye,
sake, I'm
old,
30,
man.
I'm 30, so you're 7 years older than me, man.
It's my wee lassie's birthday tomorrow, man. She's fucking turning 7, so...
Fucking hell, man.
How's
that feel? You feeling old yet?
Nah, I'm alright, mate. What you meant to say to it, man?
I know.
I don't feel old, mate. I still feel like I'm about 18 in my mind, man. But I'm maybe just immature, but...
I can't sit,
feel
mate.
right,
Better at the age. You're only the age you feel, aren't you?
Exactly.
See, your wee lassie, is she obviously aware that obviously the music you make and that kind of thing?
There's
She at
3
that
of
age
them,
yet?
mate. We've got 3 of them.
They've got 3
Aye,
little
aye.
lassies?
Aye,
What age
mate.
are they?
Right, so the youngest one's 2. Then we've got one at 4 and one turning 7 tomorrow, man.
Right. Are they all...
Well, 3.5.
Do they all kind of know you make tunes and that? Or are they at that age?
They're into it, man. They like I Am a Raver and that.
Are they, aye?
One of the wee ones had Xander Nation at our school.
Oh, really, aye?
Aye.
Was that through you or was that through school?
No, just they were there and
Oh, right,
playing my tunes and that, and she's running about going, aye, that's my dad and that.
That's brilliant, man.
I feel redneck for her, mate. Do you know what I mean?
I dig it. Do you know if you like a bit of buzzing, nah?
I don't know, mate. I mean, I'm just too... Yes. If I'm hanging myself, man, if I was that age and I had my dad's music playing at school, I'd be embarrassed,
I
mate,
suppose,
do you know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah, it's different a bit, I suppose, but these days, like, your music can still be quite relevant.
Aye, well it is, man. That's why we're still going with I'm a Raver and all that, and still getting all the gigs going.
Mm-hmm.
We've got one this Saturday as well, and we're busy all year, to be honest, man.
Aye.
So we've had a couple of weeks off there for Christmas, and we've done well through Christmas, and then we're picking back up again as we go. But January's always quiet, man.
Aye, fuck all's happening in January, innit, man?
Everybody's skint, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really wants to get mad with that because they've had a mad Christmas and New Year, so they're just chilling.
The only places that do alright in January are the gyms and fucking Alcoholics
Aye,
Anonymous.
well, that's true, mate. Aye.
You're always packing everywhere.
I need both, mate.
Oh, I feel you, mate. I feel you.
Aye.
So, mate, how was life growing up for you then? Was it Falkirk you're fair, isn't it?
Falkirk, mate. Well, I grew up, man. I was born in Falkirk, then I grew up in Grangemouth for a couple of years.
Oh, right, nice.
Then moved to Bowness.
Oh, so you've been about the kind of... That's all kind of the same area, isn't it?
I used to stay round the corner as well, mate. I used to stay in Clinder Street. Just
Went in
round the
Govan?
corner, mate.
When did you stay there?
When I was about 17, we just went round there on the way. And I'm like,
just a wee stop
still
off
there,
or something?
mate. The flats are still there. See where the wee shop is, man.
Aye,
Right in the
Clinder
corner,
Street.
but-
I'm fucking
aye.
shite with my like, streets about here. I know the
Aye.
name, but I can't imagine in my head where
Aye.
it is.
I thought it would have been ripped down, man, but it's still there.
Ah, no, the fucking take a
Aye.
Holocaust to rip these flats
Main
down, man.
State's gone, man. Do you know what I mean?
Aye,
But
aye.
Stayed there for a wee while and stayed in Tory Glen
Oh, did you,
in
aye?
the circus, man. Aye.
So how long did you stay in Glasgow for, Owen?
It was when I turned about 16. I got a residency playing in what's it called? Universe, Coatbridge.
Right.
So because at that time I was away through Falkirk, I was like, I need to get somewhere closer, so I moved through with my missus at the time.
Right.
Got a house through there, and then I was just kind of training it in and out and that, man, to get to the gigs and
Right,
that.
I see.
Aye, but...
So we are DJing at this point then?
DJing, aye.
So what age did you start DJing or making music?
I started making music when I was about 13. Started actually DJing properly when I was about 16.
Was it right? What was it that got you into it? Making music?
Just liking tunes, mate. So I mean, just music, man.
What kind of music were you into?
Just dance music, mate. So at that time I was listening to Tom Wilson a lot, like Beat 106,
Ah.
I mean, all that kind of stuff, man. And he was playing all the classics, man, like Nothing I Won't Do and all that shit. But it's where I grew up, a lot of folk I grew up with were kind of moshers and that, and they were like into like just what was out at the time, whereas I was more into, there's no doing nothing for me, man. I need a bit of like, you know what I mean?
Something about energy.
Aye, mate. And when I grew up as well, my dad was a punk, so he listened to like the Ramones
Fucking
and all that, man. So I was like, but the Ramones is like high energy, like
Aye,
tunes, man.
definitely, 100%.
And to me, that it kind of worked, man. Like 170 BPM.
Right. So that was your kind of first introduction to that kind of
Aye,
that kind of pace of music.
Aye. Then I started just messing about with tunes, man, and that's how it kind of came about, man. It's not something I actually thought this is going to be my life. I just thought I'm going to mess about with this.
You just got to do it for a hobby.
Mind I'm old, so that was the birth of the internet, man. The internet's getting big. You still had dial-up and all that. And I just
somebody phones the house, man. Your internet gets
Aye,
cut
mate,
off
I haven't got the time,
fucking
mate,
halfway through a tune. Some cunt phones you.
Aye.
Salesman phones trying to put lecky, man. You're like, you bastard.
Aye. And that was it, man. Just went for there, and I think because I was the first cunt to kind of do that, man, it made a bit of a scene, didn't it?
Definitely. See, can I just ask you, what did you start making music on? What were you mixing on? What was the programme?
It's a programme called Acoustica.
Acoustica. I remember doing the PCDJ and it had been well after.
Acid Pro.
Acid Pro, mate.
Aye.
It was Acid Pro. Have you watched my podcast me saying that
Aye,
before?
no, it's just a
Alright,
name,
just
everybody.
knew it. Is either Acid
Aye.
Pro, was it, what was there was another one, is it Mix? Why am I thinking?
Mixcraft.
Mixcraft, that was it. It was
Aye.
either one of the two. Every cunt
Aye.
used it. It was Acid Pro I used.
Because Acoustica, I think, was the first kind of, man. It was literally just a basic edit programme. You could just load up waves and trim them, change the speed and all that on them.
It was just pure
I just used
simplistic.
that, mate. I was only, like I say, I was 13. Had no idea what I was doing, mate. Like, I couldn't play guitar, couldn't do nothing. No music knowledge, mate. I done it for my own gain, man. I was just mixing about, and folk at school were like, that's quite good, man. I'm saying, sounds shite to me, like, you know what I mean? And then they started asking me to make CDs.
Right.
And like, because it was the birth of the internet, somebody must have took the CD and put it on LimeWire.
Right. I remember LimeWire,
And,
aye.
like, Kazaa and all that, and then they started putting it on DJ Rankin, it just went nuts, man.
Right, I see.
And I'm sitting going, it's absolute shite. Folk are going, like, it's other people's tunes at the end of the day. I'm just bootlegging them, just putting acapellas of them all out of time and that. And I'm like, obviously I polished it up eventually and figured out how to beat match and stuff. But at that time I was like, why are folk listening to that, man? I think there was just a gap in the market for something a bit different.
Because it was because there wasn't much of that going about. Because I remember back to when I was younger, and like PCDJ and I call it, man. It was like that was quite well established to a degree in like the Scottish culture. But it's like you forget, it's like that wasn't it wasn't about forever.
No,
and obviously
it
it started somewhere, and obviously it must have started. I don't know if you were the first to do it, but you're definitely one of them.
Aye, I don't know many before me, I'll tell you that. Much, mate. Do you know what I mean? I can't think of a single person that done it before me, to be honest. But when I started doing it, you had like Gary McKeff started doing it, and you had like Zitkus and that, and it just kind of led on for there. It was big in Glasgow.
I remember Gary McKeff. He was like a fucking cultural hero, man, in Glasgow. With all the kind of tunes, man. I fucking sometimes, recently when I've been mad, I'm like, fucking put that on, put an old PCDJ tune on, you know what I mean? It's pure part of the culture as well.
That's me, aye. And that's what led me on to like, I need to take this serious and start actually trying to learn how to do stuff, and learned how to DJ. I got in with DJ Pulse, mind him.
The name doesn't ring a bell. I think it does ring a bell, but I couldn't tell you what his tunes.
If you hear one of his tunes, you would
no, if you put on a tune, I'd probably I know him.
And he was an actual established DJ. He was a couple of years older than me, and he showed me how to use decks and how to scratch and all that. And then I started learning how to DJ.
Right.
And then I moved on to producing myself quite a few years later, man, because for the next 10 years I was just mad with it, to be honest.
Oh, really? Aye. Living the lifestyle.
We were getting gigs in Ireland and all that, and at that point you're young, mate, you know what it's like.
I know,
young,
of course, man.
Folk are offering you fucking drink just to come and play gigs and all that, and we ended up wrecked, like, yeah.
Nah, you're going to jump at it.
Aye, so it took about 10 years to really go, right, I need to screw the nut here and actually try and keep this going, man, before it gets out of hand.
At what point did you decide? Because you say that when about 13 you started it, then you started making up CDs for people in school and it went on a LimeWire. At what point did you kind of think to yourself, right, I've actually got something here?
Probably like, I used to go out with a lassie who stayed in Glasgow, man, and I used to get on the buses. And it used to be the bus that went to Cumbernauld for Falkirk.
Right.
Used to get on the bus, man, and there was one day I was sitting, I'll never forget it, man, I'm sitting in the bus, man, a bottle of cider or something, man, like White Lightning or something, do you know what I mean? I'm sitting in the back just chilling, going through to hers. A couple of boys came up to me, oh, you're DJ Rankin and all that, and I'm like, this is before social media, mate, do you know what I mean?
Right, I see.
And I'm like, they're like, oh, you DJ at Universe and all that, man, can we like get your autograph and all that? I'm like, mate, what's
going on here?
Aye, it was a bit weird. And that's when I started thinking, this is going somewhere, innit? And then I went back to school. I ended up getting kicked out of school. But folk at school were starting to, like, I was getting inundated, folk going, CDs, CDs,
so almost becoming that kind of school legend. So what age were you at this point?
About 14.
Oh, 14, right, so still really young.
Mate, I was really young. And at that point, like I said, I was listening to kind of like different music for that, and I always done that for myself. It was mental, mate. It just exploded. And then about a year and a half later, I got offered a gig to play at the Point in Dublin, which is now called the O2.
Right, I see.
Akon was headlining it.
Shut up.
It was
so you're technically supporting Akon?
Aye. And he was just coming out at the time. And then the guy who was managing me, Technotrans, DJ Technotrans, you heard of him from back in the day?
Don't get it rings a bell with me. I mean, I'm 7 years younger than you, so maybe...
Aye, he was big. He still is big, mate. He's a legend, Big Alec. He was like, listen, these boys are wanting you to go out and play like to 9,500 folk. And I'm a wee guy, mate. I'm like, what? Go for it, man.
Aye, why not?
Get me some gear and some fucking drink, man.
But
the worst thing is, when we went there, at this point, I've only played to clubs of like 500 folk. We goes there and it was a whole new world to me, man. We get there and we've got a big fancy hotel and all that stuff, and they wouldn't let me drink, man. Big Alex, like, man, you can't drink, can't take gear, that, man. We need to be legit, man. This could be a big thing. He thought I was a fucking Backstreet Boy or something, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, look at me, man. I'm just a wee guy. And he's like, no, listen, like, no drinking, nothing like that. So I walk onto this stage with fucking 9,500 folk in front of me, man. Sober. I'm like, man, do you know what I mean? What the fuck am I going?
Did you ask her that?
Aye, big time, mate.
Did it, aye?
I just went for it, played the gig, didn't say nothing, just stood there, kept my head down, man.
Didn't look?
You know what I mean? Didn't even look at the crowd, man. Didn't take it in. I wish I did, man, but I couldn't.
You just want to get it in done,
it, man.
Because you think you're going, oh, I'll get full of the Dutch courage, I'll get mad with it in the last minute.
Well, that was my plan. I'll just get mad with it, it'll be sound. He's like, no, neither that, man. I'm managing you properly and that. And I'm like,
suppose fair play to him, know what I mean? He's had the right mindset at the time, know what I mean? So he's trying to kind of take you under his wing.
Absolutely, mate. He's a great guy, man. I still talk to him. But at that point, my head was, what's going on, man? Do you know what I mean?
Did you meet Akon?
I met him, aye.
Did you, aye?
Man. He got his medallion stole that night when we played that gig. He had a mad fucking chain where it must have been worth loads of money, man. And he bent into the crowd, somebody pulled it off and stole it,
man.
Mate.
That's what happens, you go to Ireland.
So when I met him backstage, he was going off his nut. Somebody just took my hang and all that.
Yeah, well, man, you keep on, Bush. That's right in the porn, innit?
He's a photo, mate. And I got a photo and I've still got the photo to this day, but it's all blurry, man. You can just make me and him out. And Special D, when the Special D, it done come with me. Come with me.
I think I know the name, but I didn't know that. I'm not too pure familiar with that.
Man, it's all blurry, man. I'll send you if you want to.
Aye, send us it, and I can fire it up.
And he was just raging because he got his thing stole, man.
Fucking hell, you would be, man.
I know.
So, how did that feel after you done your gig at that point? See, when you walked off the stage, how did it feel after that when you were able to kind of let the moment soak in?
I don't know, man. See, to be honest, I was just kind of like, this is not going to last, man. I thought this is like a couple of gigs and then I'll be back,
I see. So it was kind of like, it was almost like this is kind of going to be short-lived.
Aye. And then after that, I ended up getting a booking agent in Ireland. And then for the next 6 or 7 years, man, I started getting gigs off the back of that for the same guy that arranged it.
Right.
It was a concert called Scream, and they were sponsored by a company in Ireland called Sidona. I think they've done like energy drinks or something like that. And they just gave me gigs for the full time, and then it just went mental for there. Mental.
Right.
And I couldn't really make any more music. I couldn't do much because I was too busy touring and stuff. I had to give up my job, man. I was working in a kitchen. That's how I've got the restaurant now, because I used to cook.
Oh, right, I see. I bet you that was a hard decision to make. I work in the kitchen, I'll go touring.
I walked in one day, I get it.
Here's my apron, dick, kids here.
Exactly, mate. And then I just done it for ages, and then I've never really looked back since, mate. Apart from when COVID hit. I was like, what am I meant to do? I worked in between as well for a while, in a call centre and that, man, just try to keep keep it ticking and that.
No, of course, just in the wee gaps and that kind of
a
between
lot
gigs.
of folk think, you're making that much money for gigs, you can just fucking sit and drive Lamborghinis about and all that. That's not how it works, mate.
No, is it all, man? The money gets spent easy enough, doesn't it?
Especially back then, man, because I mean, I got paid a lot of money for doing that gig with Akon. I think I spent 99% of it on gear, mate.
Really? Aye?
Aye, man.
How much did you get, can you say?
Like gear-wise?
No, the money.
I'll not say, man.
In the thousands, you'd
it's
say?
a big figure, mate.
Aye, and that's still at 14, 15?
Nah, more than that, man.
No, I'm talking about your age.
Oh, I was about that age, mate.
How did that feel? Did it ever at any point feel as if it was going to your head at any point? Or did you always stay humble with it, or was it just that this is a pure...
No, I was always humble.
Oh, well, yeah.
Then I got all these mates I never knew I had.
Oh,
and
I
they're
see.
like, why buy this gear, mate? Why get this, man?
Aye.
And all of a sudden I had an entourage of folk that I never really spoke to in my life, man.
Right, I see.
And then they were like, go and get this, go and get that, man. I'm driving round wee roads buying fucking gear for all sorts of cunts. And
Really? Just up to
spent
make it?
mega money on stuff.
Right, I just spent it on fucking
Pissed it
that
away,
way.
mate, big time. Like, I regret it. Biggest regret in my life, man. Because when you're that age and you get all that money, you just fucking spend it on gear.
You don't know what to do. You can't train you for that because,
Aye.
as you say, you could have been trained. Don't get mad with it. Treat it professional, but nobody trained you how to fucking have money.
Oh, nobody
teach you. Don't teach you that in school how to hold on to money. It's like, I mean, you get money.
See, as nowadays it's all public and you know how it works. You've got social media, and if you go into that nowadays, you would know. Like, alright, I need to be watching what I'm doing. But back then, it's just money, mate. And
plus, you're living in the moment. You're that age and all. See, if any kind, what's the first thing you go out and buy a trackie and a pair of trainers? That's all you don't think about investment.
That's right, mate. I went into Glasgow, brought a Lacoste trackie and all that. I thought
I
it was
think
the
you're the
box,
box.
man. I'm like, fucking here we go, man. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking brilliant, man.
And like I said, I was still staying in Glasgow at that time in the circus in Tory Glen. Do you know what I mean? So I'm walking about, best dressed cunt in Tory Glen, man. Walking about, I'm the man with an escort and all that.
Did you have an escort?
I had a wee escort and that. Aye.
Did you see at this point, obviously, because your profile must have been getting bigger, were you find it was getting to a point where more people were recognising you?
Aye, defo, mate. Especially, I used to travel to that gig, and in the train station I used to take, back then we were using vinyl still, so I had a big case, and DJ Pulse stuck DJ Rankin at the front of it, man. I think he was a smart arse, he fucking put the stickers on it and all that, and he had it on his one. So I used to have to walk through fucking Central Station with this big fucking case full of records saying DJ Rankin on it. So obviously it's fucking no inconspicuous, is it?
No, is it fuck, man?
Aye, so cunts would come up and well, fucking, but in the days, if they wanted a photo, mate, it was like, wait till I get this wee camera and
it's a wee Motorola flip phone if you're lucky.
It wasn't even that at that
was it?
point.
No,
It was
no.
folk with actual fucking stupid
Nokia
wee-
cameras?
No, disposable cameras.
Oh, was it an actual
Aye.
fucking Catalyst Polaroid?
Aye.
Fucking hell, man.
Aye.
Taking a photo and getting
I
it
know.
developed 3 weeks later.
Oh, that's brilliant, man. You know what I mean? It's not like they could go, I'll tag you in it.
Oh,
Do you know what I
fucking
mean?
hell, man. How things are much simpler.
I know. It was good laugh, mate. It was good.
I can imagine. See, you say there was a lot of drugs getting consumed at that point. How was your mental health at that stage? Did you feel as if it was going a bit too wild at times?
It was actually alright, mate, to be honest, man. We weren't taking nothing mental, man. We were taking like fucking eckies.
Suppose at that age you
bit
get
of
away
gear.
with it, didn't you?
Aye. And that was before folk took like crystal MDMA and all that, man. It was just eckies, man.
Aye, when drugs were simple,
Bit-
weren't they,
bit
man?
of
Just
gear.
take a
Aye,
couple
it
of
was
eckies,
simple.
then in this
You
tenner shop pish,
aye,
prop,
mate.
gear, console 50-50 and all
Aye,
that
it was
shit,
near
man.
that, mate. It
He's
was
a bit of gear and chuck
you
it.
just some Charlie or you got some fucking eckies, mate, and we were taking like fucking. Back then it was like they were called fucking crosses or something, man. They were like fuck knows, and we're taking Mitsubishis and
Right.
Shamrocks and all that, man. Do you know what I mean? Just whatever we could get.
It's the standard.
Man. It's bad. It feels terrible, man. My mum will watch this and go off on that.
Oh, for
man, but,
fuck's sake, man. Should it
Ah,
come as a surprise at this point?
no. But I wouldn't change that point in my life, to be honest, for taking all the stuff and that. A lot of folks say, drugs are bad. Aye, they are. But it depends how you deal with them, man.
That's exactly that, man. See, if you have good times doing it, then fair play. You're going to tell your story as well, man. It's like...
You can't tell folk, didn't do this when you've done it or you're fucking
just say, I wouldn't advise
same
it.
time,
know what
if
I
it
mean?
ever came to my ways, I'd be like, no, I didn't do that, man, because you know what it can lead to.
I know. It's easy for me to think on it as if, because I've no goat wins, but I'd imagine if I would say, listen, I've done it before, it's no worth it, that kind of thing. Like, so I feel as if you say don't do it, then they find out you have done it, then you sound like a hypocrite. But if you say, listen, I've done it and it's no one it's cracked up to be.
You
but
know yourself as well, back then, they weren't as strong as they are nowadays.
I
mate,
know,
do you know what I
man.
mean?
The shit you're getting hit with these days is
Aye.
potent, man.
Like, we used to take like half an eckie, man, you'd be sound for a couple of hours, man. Nowadays, they're fucking double dunting.
It's a fucking pure
all
ordeal
sorts of
these
shit,
days,
mate.
man. It's fucking £10 a whip and all
aye.
that shit. It hits the pocket as much as it hits your fucking brain.
Because we used to get like 3 for a five and all that,
Aye. But it makes you wonder, like, back then, what was it? Was that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, now are we getting like the purest of stuff, or back then was it full of shite, or was back then?
I think back then was full of shit, mate. Man, you used to get me brown speckles and blue speckles. And
well, I heard the
brown... you see that's bleach, mate. You're black.
Aye, or it's smack. That's so they get you addicted. I heard somebody saying the brown speckles meant to be caffeine. So when you take it, you get maybe a rush. But it could be plausible, man. But who fucking knows?
I mean, one time I got a bag, man, for some boy in Grangemouth. I'll no name him, obviously. I still know who he is. Bought a bag of gear, man. I spent fucking loads of money on it, man, for me and all my pals. We shamrocks, man. Look, the business, man. Took 2 of them. My full face was like that, man, swollen. Like, I burst all my lips out, man. Fucking ulcers around my mouth and all that, man.
What?
Must have been bleach or something in them, I don't know.
Off, that's fucking dodgy.
Oh, man, my throat and all that was closing up, and I couldn't exactly go to the hospital and go, I'm fucking fucked up.
What happened? Did you just ride it out?
I didn't even get a hit off them, I just read it out, mate.
Aye, what as if you took a couple of hits off some cunt?
Well, like somebody smashed me up, mate. And then I gave the bag to my pal. I'll not even name him. I'll name him Crispy. He's mental. Fuck no, he takes care. He's a sound cunt. He fucking took them and just kept taking them, even though I was fucked, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Did he turn it the way you did?
Nah, he was fine, mate.
Did he get a done of it?
Aye, he was sound.
Aye, right, man.
He just reacted
you're
to me.
paying for this, ain't you? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't just take the full bag, mate. He's like, it's sound, man.
Cunt's pure buzzing at his nut. You're sitting like a face like a seal, man.
Aye, mate. Aye,
fucking hell, man. What was, do you remember any mad moments for it that period? Like anything fucking that stands out?
Yes, man. There's plenty of them, man. Like, I mean, the stuff I don't know what I say on this.
You've got Wayne's, remember? Wayne's in a missus.
Try to think what I
can
say,
edit
man.
it out, see
no,
if you say
like,
something.
Like, folk I've met, celebrities and stuff, and you're like, you don't want to be going into that fucking rabbit hole, do you? Well, there was a famous celebrity, man, that we met one time. Me and this guy called Muzzy G.
Right.
He's pretty big in Ireland and that back at the time. He was like a rapper and stuff like that. And we met somebody who was massive at the time, went back to his hotel room, and I swear to my life, mate, we walks into this room and he's standing there pissing on some lassie, mate. Pissing on her face, mate. And I'm like, man, what the fuck's going on here? Like, do you know what I mean? And he's like, dude, this guy's massive, he's still big today. He's like, he's into all that, man, just leave it, man. And I'm like, I'm fucking, what's going on? Like, I'm, honestly, and the lassie had sitting there getting pissed on, mate.
She's loving it.
How mad's that, mate? Like, how mad's that? I'm just a wee guy for Falkirk. I'm like, I can't deal with that, man.
What did you do? Weird. Did you stay?
We just sat in a bed in the corner.
But he was just pissing in his bird.
She done it and fucked off. I was like, did you pay her for that, mate? Do you know what I mean?
Did he pay her?
Fuck knows, mate.
Man, did he pay her? She was just a mad fucking manky cunt, man.
She was into it, mate. So
I've heard some cunts. I don't know, mate. I've heard some cunts like, if they've been up for days on the chalet and see that way you get pure depraved and all that shit, then there's cunts that have get their face pissed on and all that. I don't know, me personally, I've never saw the attraction. I've heard it, man, but I just, it doesn't get me there. But see the celebrity could use a clue into kind of what field he might be in. Well, as an actor.
British, mate, aye, British kind of grime music, maybe you call it now, but it wasn't grime at the time. I'm not going heavy.
I know, because you know you've said it, it's pure piqued my curiosity. I might ask me, but I understand.
I don't want to go
I know, to be honest, you could fucking help me get a few subscribers with that story.
We'll just go for it, right? I'll tell you his name, mate. No, I'm not doing it.
What's it worth? No, I'm joking, man, I'm joking. So, as you say, so you're touring, were you going all over the world? Were you going to like Spain, Ibiza and that kind of stuff?
We done Maga and Ibiza and that, but that was more later. I'm a raver.
Was it?
I used to get offered gigs like that back then, but I'm not gonna lie, mate, I was drinking all the time and that, man, I couldn't I had my passport at the time and stuff, eh?
Right, I see.
So I just kind of stuck to the UK and Ireland, mate. But I was Ireland 90% of the time was Ireland, mate.
Really, aye?
Oh, Ireland was mad for it, man. They love their tunes, man. Love their dance music.
Really, I because obviously
back in the day.
Chris Boom, obviously he's got a missus in Ireland. I think he goes there quite a lot.
He's I don't speak to him much nowadays, to be honest with you, man. Me and him used to be quite close. He worked for us in the shop and that. Good work with the guy, man. He's a good boy, man. He's just doing his own thing. With his missus, Janine. She's sound as well, man.
Is it still the same lassie that wants in Ireland?
Aye, mate, aye.
That's fair play to him, man. I don't know how we can do it. I was seeing a lassie for Edinburgh, it was a pain in the arse, man. He's seen a lassie in a different...
You were seeing somebody for Falkirk at one point too, weren't you? Aye, for the stadium.
I was in the jail, so I'm good at long distance relationships. Seeing a bird for Edinburgh and seeing a bird for Falkirk when I'm in the jail. You know what I mean, man? But aye, that was it. See, to be honest, that one.
Do you name her? No, do you?
Rebecca Kay, her name was.
Aye,
you know
her? I know the name, mate. Aye.
Do you know the fucking tits? He's mad, big chaps. I don't know what she looks like now. I'm getting back with.
You still talk to her, that?
No, this is like 11, 10 years ago, mate.
Aye.
No, I mean, I wish. I don't know if you're out there with right tits. Come see us.
Chris was good, man. He was doing gigs with us and that. And like I said, he worked in the shop, he used to be a chef and that, so it was ideal for us, but we kind of faded, man, just kind of fell apart and stuff.
It's one of the things, isn't it, man?
It's more like, you know, he says, she says and all that, man.
Fuck, aye, all that shite. And
he done a couple of gigs for I'm a Raver and that, and to be fair to the guy, man, he had a wee drink and that, and he was a bit mad with it, man.
Right.
I wanted him to do well, man. I was there for him, while I'm on, man. And then I would have done the same, mate. Do you know what I mean? Especially when you're doing a big gig like that. Man.
It's the nerves, innit? Some people drink, they can't really perform unless they've got some kind of substance in them.
That used to be me, mate.
It just shows that you've been there. Imagine it comes hand in hand with DJing. I would think like a lot of DJs, it's to be sober is merry a kind of oddity.
Well, see, when you actually date sober, it's good because you actually remember it, mate. So you remember the crowd, you remember what tunes you played and all that, man. Whereas if you're mad with it, forget it, man.
I can imagine, and that's if because I've heard, you know, Mikey Motion.
I know Mikey.
Because
I don't know him personally, but I know who he is.
So he's told me stories about when he's ended up getting sozzled all day, and he's been like doing his set at like 3 a.m. He's been mad with it all day, and he gets there by the time he can't even stand
up. I heard
up.
the story. He done like an actual comedy act, and he done the same thing twice, didn't he? Because he was mad with it. He just changed character.
I think the classic Granderson have been on it all weekend. I don't know how he can do it. I'm the kind of cunt, see if I've got a gig on. If I wake up with a hangover, I'm patching it. No, I mean, I can't do both.
It's no easy, man. Especially see if I drive to gigs. And you're like, I'm going to have to do this stone cold sober, man. Can't even have a fucking drink. Not a single drop. And you go in, you do it, man. You enjoy it, and it's more enjoyable, to be honest.
Definitely, man.
But like you said, it's nerves, especially if it's a big crowd. Classic Grand, pretty big crowd, man. And you've got Liquid Rooms Edinburgh, and that's hard to do sober, man. It definitely is, mate. Because everybody's mad right in front of you, man, just living life.
I know, mate. I still got to go into a pub and every cunt's mad with it. I mean, actually playing a set because they're all vibing to you. They're all looking at you. All the eyes are on you. It's not as if you're in the room with them.
It's more fun if you've had a drink, innit?
Aye.
It gets to a point in life where you're like, I've got a family and that, I need to fucking screw it up.
It starts to become you like, wait a minute, this is actually my job.
Definitely, mate. It got to a point where me and Chris, you're talking about, have a drink and work some days and that, and you're like, it's a bad idea, man.
It doesn't end well, does it?
It doesn't end well, mate, and then that's kind of where that went, didn't it, man?
It all goes tits up. See, you've talked about I Am a Raver a couple of times. Obviously, you're a big part of I Am a Raver. How did that start to come about?
So, I was already doing gigs, man. Like I said, I was doing gigs all the way through, I feel like middle 2000s right through. And then Paul contacted me, Paul Zitkus. Actually, it was somebody else on his behalf.
Right.
And they were talking shit, man, saying, don't go with him, man, he's a fucking this and that.
The top of Zitkus?
Aye.
Oh, right.
So I was like, alright. I knew who he was. I mind him for back in the day in his tunes and stuff, but they were trying to put me off him, going, no, don't go there and all that. So I didn't. I just left it a couple of months, and he contacted me again personally, and I went, like, fuck it, just do it, man. It's bygones be bygones. It can't be anything that bad. Turned out it was all a lot of shite, man. You heard me say nothing bad about me or nothing.
Oh, no, just somebody trying to stir the pot.
Basically, man. I'm not going to name the guy, but he's a fucking idiot, man. And then I got with Paul. We done the first I Am a Raver gig, and he basically recalled all the legends, man, like for the PCDJ era, like me, McF, him, Bad Boy, Cammy, all that, man. It was in 69 Below.
Right, it's Room 2 now. Room 2 now. I'm doing a gig in it in the 3rd of March.
Is that still open, mate?
It's Room 2 now, it's called.
Aye, it was a good venue, mate. Really good venue.
That's decent, man.
I think that was about 2014. And his idea was, man, we could maybe make something for this. Now, I always thought, there's something there. And then it just fucking exploded, man.
Right.
The first one, it was Valentine's Day, if I mind right. And then we done that. And then he was getting inundated with folk wanting gigs, man. And then we just started getting club after club. Never looked back, mate. It's just
I see.
Mental, man. Like, it was a great idea. Do you know what I mean? And I needed that at that point because I was starting to saturate and think, fuck, do you know what I mean? I'm going away doing here, doing a gig, and going away up there, man. Whereas at that point, I was my own booking agent, mate. So to me, I was like, I couldn't be fucked, man. I was getting fucking hangy to it. And then he was like, I'll do it all, man. I'll be the booking agent. You just be the fucking DJs and I'll fucking run the show. Perfect, man. Best thing I've ever done.
I came along at the right time. So you were part of like the inception then, the very first show you were part in.
He knew that because I was the one that started doing this sort of PCDJ thing. And he brought us all on board. And he wasn't going to do it with us all, man. He had to have all the originals.
No, of course.
And we had, like, there's still a few originals that don't play the gigs. Like, you've got, like, fucking, like, Gav fucking B and that, man. He's favouring about here, mate.
Gav Bruce.
Gav,
he's just, he's for Cardano, I don't know,
great guy, mate. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I'd rather he was quite involved with it, man. But I think he's got his own thing going.
Nah, people have kind of moved on with their lives and that, and maybe doing different things. I think
you had
he's
like DJ Dally and who else was there, man? There's a few of them that's still in it, man. DJ Gillis, good guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
But most tears are there, the originals, but there's a few missing.
Mm-hmm.
It's still,
he still managed to carry the show, especially. It's Classic Grand. Is that what you say? Classic Grand's the biggest venue he's playing right now?
No, we've done a lot bigger than that, man. But we've done festivals and that, obviously.
What kind of festivals?
We've done like the Stereo Funk. We've done a couple in Ireland.
Right.
We've done the one in Ireland was massive, man. It was like a big football stadium. Me and Paul did it. It was good, man. But I think the most we kind of days maybe 5,000 festival or something like that, man.
It's a fair number, man.
I've always said to Paul we should maybe do like Ingleton or something, man. Just try and get it and do our own sort of thing. But there's a lot of politics involved in that.
Definitely. As the numbers go up, man, the fucking issues you need to deal with get involved in.
We could do it, man. We could do it, man.
It's definitely. There's a lot of moving parts to it, innit? But it shows you it's strange to see something that started so long ago, and as you say, something that started in your bedroom is just a fuck about is still alive and thriving to this day.
And the thing that annoys me most is that photo still kicks about, man. Me sitting in my bedroom, man. Fucking.
That the one with the blonde hair in the earring?
With old telly and that.
Mate, I seen that. I think it was what was that? I think Graham Armstrong done. Was it Braveheart? And it shows you DJ, and it's that photo, and it's that photo of you, man. And I remember it. It's
the young ones, mate. The young team, sorry. What a book that was, mate.
I've got it in there, man. It's a really good book.
That was mega, that man. He's a legend.
Mate, he's totally personified how it is to be like hanging about.
He was one of the wee guys in amongst it. He was there. He grew up with that, man. Do you know what I mean? Speaking to him when I went to meet him to do the BBC Scotland thing, and he knew more about it than me, mate. He started talking to him about tunes I forgot about and all that.
Oh, really? Aye.
Man, I was like, you know your shit,
encyclopedia and Ned culture.
Like, I'm the fucking man for the PCDJ stuff, man, eh? Mm-hmm. And I was talking about like Rab Ross and that, you know him, mind of him.
Rab Ross, but was a PCDJ?
Aye, he was
I don't think so, no?
He's a good guy, man. I've not heard of these names for years, mate. I'm like, fuck, guy, man.
I feel blessed for the past, mate.
Aye.
See what got me about that book? There was a bit in it where the main character, I forgot his name. He takes an eckie for the first time, and he talks about like how he's going through been fleeing and that. But obviously it's written in like kind of like as an Ed would speak. And I thought it was fucking just amazing how he summed it all up because he's pure captured the essence of what it was like to be in that, just to be fleeing at your box.
You're thinking to yourself, I remember that, mate.
But he's summing up because it's hard to try somebody went like how does fleeing feel, and it's like imagine trying to describe it. He's actually pure summed it up and made it like fucking
the way you want it to be.
The way you would, as if you would explain it like that's how it fucking feels
on the paper, mate.
It's fucking brilliant, man. Want to get him on the podcast as well.
He'd be brilliant, mate.
Oh, definitely is, man.
You spoke to him, he's a good guy.
I'll keep that. I'll keep that hush hush. We're working at a date. Know what I mean? Take the big man. You know what I mean? But so, would you say you played a pivotal part in Scottish culture with your music?
Personally, nah, mate. Because
no,
I don't rate myself that way, mate. Because I was bootlegging folks' music, mate.
Right.
Like, you take legends like I grew up with like fucking bonkers like DJ Hixie, Scott Brown and all that, man. And there was a point where I started doing all these bootlegs where Scott Brown hated me, mate. Like,
did he?
Probably still hates me to this day, man. Aye, because I was bootlegging his tunes, mate.
So
I wasn't making money off it, but I was just sticking random shite at the top of his music. If that happened to me nowadays when I'm a producer and I put a tune out and some cunt just put blah blah where my tunes are, but fuck you doing, you wee bastard, man, Joey. So I get his point.
Aye.
But I think at the same time I done him a favour as well as he done
kind of get his name out a bit because people surely they would know it was Scott Brown bootlegs.
I would put, I mean I know there's a generation that grew up with the kind of stuff I was doing, so in that way, and I still get folks saying to me, you got me through hard times, man, this is what fucking kept me alive and all that, and that hits me in the heart, mate. So in that point I kind of see the PCDJ era as like the punk generation for the newer generation. Do you know what I mean? See how punk came along? It was a lot of shite, man. You couldn't even play music, but it's still done well. Aye. I think for the like 2000s, the PCDJ era was like kind of like the punk era for us, man. It was
like a movement as such because, as you say, it was made by people in their bedrooms. I think that was the start of the digital era.
That's what it was, and it related to folk like us just sitting in our bedroom, man. Just, I could do that.
I know.
That's what happened. Folk were going, I could do that. They would go and download fucking Acid Pro or something. They would do it better than me. I'm fucking, there you go, mate, there you go. I opened the door, man, you ran through it.
Of course, man. Plus as well, I think PCDJ, and it came hand in hand with the disses. Do you remember the old PCDJ disses? Some of them should have been on the charts.
See, Gary was the master there, mate. Gary McAfe, he was fucking the disc master. One of my mates, Richie Blackwell, hope he doesn't mind me naming him, he done some belters as well, man. He was through my way. Some of them were terrible. You'd get to jail for them nowadays. Like, do you know what I mean?
I get about
stabbing cunts' maws and all that. Man,
mate, I done one in when I was.
Get it on.
I was done it when I was 13, mate. Me and this boy, I was in like second year, and we were like,
a wee microphone in your computer, man.
The pure squeaky voice. The pitch turned up to like 10. We done a diss about a cunt. Now the cunt stayed up the stairs, me the poor cunt. But it wasn't for any other reason.
What did they do to annoy you?
Nothing. Just we were watching this. Some cunt like who with this, and he was the first name that came to my head. We'll diss him. We made 3. It was fucking shocking. Pure out of time, man. Fucking pure high pitched squeaky voice. Shite patter. Cunts were saying this patter to say and all that. Like, your mom's got a hairy chin. How can 5's fit in a bin and all that shit? All that pish, man. We're like, this is fucking funny as fuck. Gets cunt stuck his in, man. Gets suspended for 10 days, man.
Fuck off, because of that.
Aye, school suspended.
How do you meant to prove that's you though?
They heavy fucking. They went like, we're technicians of. They've hung me about with it, and we can tell it's your voice on it. They just heavy bluffed us, and I went, that was me. And the fucking
gave up, man. I'm collapsed.
That was me. So I was captured. So
Jesus.
But
I never ever made a diss, mate.
Did you ever have one made about you?
Aye.
Oh really? Aye.
Fucking used to be DJ Rankin crew and all that, man. All these guys used to get that, man. I think Gary done one actually. I don't know, man. He doesn't admit it to me, but I don't know, man. But it was fucking nuts, wasn't it, man? Cunts just took it to the next level. Mind that fucking, what was that one? I mind there was a video of fucking Ross Kemp and hanging out at EastEnders, man. They're doing a dance, man, and there was a fucking tune at the top of it, man. It was a diss, it was a belter,
was it Grant and Phil?
No, what the fuck?
Grant and Phil Mitchell, the thing we were talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. But the tune was a belter, man.
There's that. But I know the first one I heard. Do you know who Paddy McPhee is?
No, I don't know who it is. No.
It's Paddy. There was a Paddy McPhee diss. Paddy McPhee is a mad cunt. He posts all sorts of mad videos. He's posts a lot of content. He's quite. He's kind of like fucking social media famous, technically. Not pure massive, but somebody done a lot of Paddy McPhee diss. I don't know if it was Gary McAfe or some cunt like that. But that was the first diss I ever heard, and I was like, this is funny as fuck. But
that's what took it to the next level, mate. That took the PCDJ into a fucking rap style sort of thing, man, where folk were just saying, I'm going to use this to rip cunts, mate. Well, mate. See, I started doing the DJ Rankin the mix thing, which is well known now. I only done that because when I started doing shitty wee bootlegs, folk were fucking literally taking it and saying it was theirs.
Oh, were they?
I was like, what the fuck you doing, man? I'll just put my name. That's actually me. DJ Rankin the mix. So fucking when I was like fucking 14-year-old. If you slow it down, it sounds just like me, like a fucking idiot.
It's just the wee pitches put up.
Then they started doing all this fucking ram and all that, man, and just ritting each other to fuck, man. It became like the fucking Glasgow version of fucking Eminem, man.
Like the drill shit you get nowadays, that's what they're all doing. They're all dissing each other. It's maybe no as direct nowadays, but back then, I remember what stands out was the Hillington Penalty disses. They were probably at the top of the chain.
Stabbed for a laugh and all that.
All that shit. It was fucking, it was brilliant. It was like, see when you listen back to it, it was like pure shite patter, but it was like, I remember I was in school at the time, and it was every cunt was taught about it, and it was just the pure like. I imagine that's the way cunts are. It's even new when cunts listen to drill. That back then had a pure identity. It was like you were following that. You're like, this is so and so for that scheme.
And it was a Glasgow thing, mate. Like nowhere else done it. Mate.
I know,
it just became a fucking explosion.
It's madness.
And it was proper rapping, mate. Like you're talking Scottish patter, mate.
10 out of 10, man.
10 out of 10. Some of the stuff you're like DJ Bad Boy Friday Night. That's still well played. That was one of the big ones as well.
Was that Friday night? I'm at my chicken or something like that.
He's literally been sitting there. He's not a man Friday night. And I'm at my chitting that all day, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't even make sense, mate. Does it?
No, does it? Fuck, at what?
Bottle of mucky and all that, man. You had to mention the bucky, obviously. But,
no, of course. That was part and parcel with it too.
Aye, mate. Aye. Some time to be alive, mate.
Def was, man. See, what do you think your music means to people, or the stuff you used to make? What did you think it meant to people at that time?
Well, like I said, mate, it means a lot to folks, but I don't know why, mate. Personally, I'm a bit humble, man. I'm just like, when I get people coming up to me and saying, I was in a home and fucking gonna kill myself and fucking your music got me through all that, man, that's hard for me to take, like, do you know what I mean? I'm glad. I'm glad I got you through that, but at the same time, I'm thinking, like, how the fuck did this even happen, mate? Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
so you're still kind of modest about it?
Aye, defo, mate. I always have been. But I understand. Like, it obviously gets folk through times. Like nowadays, you'll have the same sort of thing. It's always going to come round in a circle, isn't it? There's always going to be something that gets folk going when they're that age and brings them through hard times and stuff. So it means a lot to me, to be honest, man. Aye.
What does suit? Do you still get people coming in contact with you saying this kind of stuff, or was that just during the period?
It's probably bigger now than ever, man.
Oh, really? Aye.
Because I'm a raver so big, and we've got like gigs everywhere, and we get gigs, people wanting pictures and all that, and I'm just like, what? Man, I usually put my nose and all that, and footies and that, man, out of nervousness. I'm like, it still doesn't sink in, mate. Do you know what I mean? Well, you seen yourself, we went to the prison together. Mind it was fucking DJ Rankin and all that.
I know, because you forget, because it's like, I think probably with yourself, obviously you get older, man, but people still remember like DJ Rankin, because the people that's in the jail at this point, my age and that, we were the same age, or roughly no far
like I said, my uncle was in the jail. Mind when we went in and spoke to them and stuff. And he got a good time in the jail because it, man.
Shut up, did he?
Aye, they were like, he was running about saying he was like, I was his nephew and all that, man.
Fuck off.
He got an easy time in the jail and all that. I was like, at least if I get to jail, man, I'll be alright, man.
I just named that yourself, I'm DJ Rankin.
And then I brought out that Berlini tune. And fucking that went mental as well, man, didn't it?
Aye, so tell us about the Berlini tune. What gave you the inspiration to do a tune out of that?
I actually made that tune in about 2008.
Did you?
But I didn't have the clip in it saying this is Berlini or something. I made the tune with a guy called Graham Williamson who done See You Later G.
Aye.
And Sean Mack who was in Chill FM.
Right.
Quite a big band back in the day. And we made the tune in a studio in Coatbridge called Contact Productions. And I'm saying I made it. I didn't at that point. They fucking made it, mate. I had no clue at that point. I was just DJing. We brought it all together. We never released it. Nothing happened with it. And then years later, I was like, fucking... I heard that sample in that Ross Kemp fucking prison thing. And I would fit with that, man. So at this point, I know how to produce. So I just remade it and fucking stuck the sample in it, and it fucking exploded, man. Ended up with like 100,000 views in like 24 hours or something.
Mate, it's a fucking tune.
It's a tune. And then I've done it again with Lugsy. You know, Lugsy.
I heard that.
Aye, I redone it and got him to MC for it as well.
How did that collab end up happening?
Class, mate. It was just, I liked his stuff, man. I ended up playing a gig. Where was it, man? I want to say Shots, man. I think he was on it, man. He was
in the jail?
No,
not just to play Shots?
No, it was an actual gig in Shots.
Oh, right.
And he was MCing. I was like, fucking, you're class, man. I was like, do you want to do a wee tune together? And then it never happened. Then about a year later, I went, do you want to get involved in this, man? And he done his own vocals. He wrote them all, mate. I was impressed, mate. It must have took him 24 hours to write the whole song. Like, he's a lyrical genius, that Lugsy, man. And I'm sitting looking at it going, fucking hell, mate, I couldn't write that in a year. Do you know what I mean?
He's doing well now, man. He's doing well.
Aye.
So, see that song itself, have you had much, what's your feedback been like on that?
On Berlini?
Aye.
Just, folks, it's all BAMs that love it, man.
It always is, isn't it?
It always is, mate. But folk always say to me, like, I mind hearing that in the prison, man. It was a prison anthem and all that, man. I'm like, fuck's sake, man. I don't know if that's a good thing, mate.
I know. I think the guy that said that, I think he's dead now.
Aye, that's true, mate. Aye, that's what I heard.
But did you know say his family messaged?
His family messaged me about it, saying, like on my DJ page, saying, I didn't see it till ages after it. Right. Because like you get a lot of mails, man, and like I've got my booking agent that's on the page, so I don't really see the mails. Right. And I went back through them one day trying to find something that was a tune or something, and I came across it, and it said fucking that he had passed away, and he really appreciated it before he died, and he listened to it and that, and he got a lot of good time for it, man. He was still in the prison at the time, and folk were saying to him, you're a legend and all that, and so I thought that was good, man. I thought at least he enjoyed it, man.
That's the main thing, because some people might take it might go one or two ways, because I think, see at the time when it might have came out, because a lot of cunts were, I was
para about it, mate. I was like, this guy could be a nutter, man. He's going to come out here and hunt me down, chip me, man.
I remember seeing a meme came out. It was like minutes after the cunt said it came out, and it was a photo of Berlin. It was like a pair of night trainers and like fucking Mayweather or something getting fucking uppercutted or something out the trainers.
They punched out your trainers, man.
So I think he must have get like ribbed for it a bit, man. Then when that came out, it's kind of.
My problem was I thought he's either going to get ribbed for it, or he's going to get a good time out of it, man. I was like, what if he gets ribbed? The fuck, man, slagged and all that.
Maybe he did get slagged, and the tune was the thing that kind of saved his skin, so to speak.
But I apparently liked it, man. So I tried to reply to the message as well, but they had deleted their Facebook at the time.
So fuck, had they, man? Have you heard from them since? No.
Nah, couldn't even reply.
When was that? Came out 2018 or something?
About that, mate.
Roughly, that's fucking 5 years ago now.
I know. And the thing is, see, when I recorded it, I had to record it off my actual telly.
Oh, did you?
Aye, mate, because I couldn't find the vocal anywhere. Aye. And I tried to get the Ross Kemp gang. What was it? Ross Kemp Prisons.
Ross came in Prisons or something like that.
Aye, and I couldn't find the vocal for it anyway, so I was like, you know what, I'll just fucking download it, record it, plugged it in with a fucking cable and recorded it right after.
Old school.
Aye, mate, aye, why no, man. So, aye, it was a good tune.
So see, right, nowadays, as you say, you're 37 now, you started making music when you were like 13, 14, that's more than 20 odd year.
Aye, mate.
So how does it, is there ever a point where you feel as if you're reaching a stalemate, or is it things like that kind of keeps your passion for it going?
Aye, it's one of the things, mate. Like, I think I'm kind of like, I thought I reached a stalemate years ago, mate. Do you know what I mean? But I Am a Raver came around, we started doing the gigs again, we found out that loads of people still loved the music and the tunes, so that's one of the things, mate. Like, I know George Bowie very well. I used to work in the studio with him as well. He used to have a house. I'm not going to mention where it is, but we used to go into his back garden and record stuff when I was doing stuff with Sean Mack and Graham Williamson when I was talking about making the original Barlinnie tune. So I've known George for years, and cause GBX is massive, and he's a big supporter, man. Like, see if I send him tunes that I've actually made nowadays, he'll happily play them, man. He'll just cane them, man. He'll play them for me, so he keeps me going, and there's still a huge audience for it, mate. You've got Uproar, you had the Uproar live and that.
JPS,
here.
Aye.
He's a good mate of us as well, man.
JP's a good guy, man.
His sister Gemma, she actually sung on my remix of I Am a Raver.
Right, she's a great singer, man.
Aye, and I think he's playing down the road there, isn't he? He's playing Pullman.
That's through the back.
Aye.
I fucking hear him when I'm in my bed on a Saturday night trying to get a kip.
Keep you awake, you're getting to the old cut. Fucking
who's just pure roasting it? I'm trying to fucking shut the window.
But aye, like, and it's still massive, mate. Look at all the lives that came out. I think lockdown helped it, because then all the lives, like, nobody could go out, they couldn't go to clubs, so they jumped on Facebook and all that shit, man. And all these lives popped up, like Uproar and all that, man. They just went ballistic, man. You were getting 1,000 views on folk listening to dance music, and it brought all the younger generation in as well, mate. Do you know what I mean? So
plus, you had the garden parties as well. A lot of people were getting hired out. Tunes were pure bouncing out, cunts' backs, 40-handed and that.
We've done a few of them, like, fucking mental, man.
See, boys, they're probably some of the best parties.
Definitely, mate. The Polish used to turn up and go off on that, man. And I think Xander Nation done the best ones, mate. They were fucking just sending the Polish away and all that, man.
Oh, really? Aye.
That was good, man. The Polish loved it. To be honest, they used to turn up and go, one of your neighbours a prick, man. They'd stand and dance a bit for a while and then fuck off, man. Do you know what I mean? But aye, they were, don't film us. Lockdown was quite good for the gig guys, man. Do you know what I mean? At the same time, it's bad for promoters because they're losing all their money.
Of
but
course.
It's kept it going, man.
The fact that you're still able to keep things going as well, it just shows you the resilience of people that no matter everything's shut, like, they can still put a gig on somewhere.
And it's recently to me, the big thing that's brought it back for us is, like, one of my mates, Shaq, who's got a tune out now called Moving All Around, Jumping and Pumping. You've probably heard it.
I've probably heard it.
Aye. See, he used to be a guy called Nana Makina, and he used to dress with a granny mask on.
Right.
And doing the Makina tunes,
I think
man.
I think I've
with
seen
the
that
scooters and all that.
Aye.
Aye, right. See, I know. Well, I've never met him personally, but I know him to talk to.
Right.
Sorry. And that's him. I know he's fucking been... Sorry.
Get a drink if you want, mate.
No, I'm alright, man. He was top 20 in the UK charts or something, man.
Is he? Aye.
Aye, so... And then everybody's kind of came through that, man. Kept going.
I've been like a kind of resurgence.
Aye. Dying here.
Take a drink, mate, if you need to get a drink, can you? Aye, clear your throat, it's cool,
Aye,
mate.
so stuff like that keeps it going because they're listening to Makina, and then you've got Lugsy did the MC and all that, man.
Aye, so I think it's you still get a lot of MC. You've got Lugsy, you've got OCB, you've got MC Tiny and that. I don't really know many of them, I don't listen to myself, but you've got a lot of people still doing the MC, and you've got a lot of the young team are still into it.
MCing's massive, mate, especially the young team. Because like, I know Oxy as well, and I know Tiny, man. This keeps moving closer to me, by the way.
Aye, no, mate, I don't know if he's got a fucking magnet or some shit. I does that all the time.
They're good guys as well, man. Oxy was on the telly recently.
The rap game.
Aye, the rap game and that.
Aye, they're all doing quite well. Obviously, it was on the telly, the two of them for that.
Aye.
It was an MC, New Monkey, Makina, I think it was on the... I didn't watch it. I'm not really into Makina music, so I didn't really watch it. But I understand there's a big market for it.
When he was on that, he was rapping. He wasn't like...
Aye, it was the rap game, I think he was on BBC twice. He was on the rap game and he was on this Makina thing. I don't know, as I say, I didn't watch it, so I couldn't tell you what the name it was.
He's a legend, mate. He's a good guy, man. But the scene's still there, mate. I don't think it'll ever die in Glasgow, to be honest, because it's like folk grew up with it, and even folks Wayne's nowadays are watching their moms jumping about the house, getting ready, watching videos of absolute pure bounce music and all that. So it's going to be around for a while.
There's too many fucking class A drugs in Glasgow to be sitting about listening to all them others. I mean, you need to fucking need a bit of Makina music in your life, man. He's something at fucking 170 BPM to be gone.
And I think that's how we done well, because at the point when I started doing that kind of music, it had kind of faded out, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
It was all like Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, fucking. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, all that
And
kind of
then I was
pop
like,
kind of wave.
Fuck this, mate. I'm like, get some dance music on, man. Get it bouncing about, man. Like,
Aye.
fucking,
Match the heart rate, innit, man?
TTF and all that, man. Do you know what I mean? The good
Aye,
stuff,
mate, I made a TTF gig no long. Well, I say no long, it was a fucking few years ago, but aye, mate, fucking TTF still alive and kicking. I don't drink anymore, so I can avoid all that shit now.
I like John Campbell's a good guy. I've played a few gigs for him as well, man. He's the main man for TTF.
Oh, is he, aye?
He's proper old school, man.
Right.
They were about before all of us, man. Do you know what I mean?
Aye,
The thing is, though, just to point this out, they didn't get the credit that they should a lot of the time, man. 'Cause,
Right.
like, when we done that BBC documentary, they kind of spoke about what Graham grew up with, like the stuff that we done. Whereas before that, you had TTF and that, man. They were the pioneers, mate. Do you know what I mean? No way PCDJ, but what brought us to that stage?
Aye,
was,
you listen to GBX,
they were
they're still
the
getting
guys,
played
mate.
like New Emotion and that.
Exactly, mate. They're the guys, and they're still going, mate. I think they were meant to do in Inglestown. I think it got cancelled and they moved venues or something, man. But TTF's massive, man.
Aye, no, they're amazing, man. Shout out TTF.
Aye.
So see your music, what does it mean to you, or what does making music mean to you? Is it changed for the first time you made it, or have you kind of developed a meaning for it?
Like I say, when I first made it, it was just for a laugh, mate, for me and my mates, man, wasn't it? Whereas now it's an actual fucking massive thing, mate, so it's changed a lot, mate. It means something a lot more now than it did then, mate. Back then I was just a wee guy getting mad with it, man. Do you know what I mean? Nicking bottles of cider at the shop, man. So, it's massive, man. I'm just glad it got a lot of folk gone, man, gave them a bit of joy in their life, man.
Aye, and it still is
Makes
to
it
this
worth
day.
it, mate. Aye,
So you've been probably making music more than half your life.
Aye, mate. Well, no making. Like I said, I was shite at first, mate. Do you know what I mean? If
Aye,
you
you're
can
still
call that
making
making,
it though, no, I mean, you're still
proper
creating
producing.
music.
15 years or something, man. Do you know what I
Aye,
mean?
nearly close, no far off.
Started learning how to actually use fucking FL, Fruity Loops it was called back then, and I think it started with Cubase, was a program. You ever heard of that?
I've heard of that, I've never used it.
Bumped my way up for that, man, but I've not been actually making music properly.
Aye, so you're
my
saying
life,
it
mate.
seriously, but you have technically,
Aye.
you first kind of got your
of
fingers
course,
into
mate. Whereas
music.
nowadays I can just make stuff like that, man. Do you know what I
Aye.
mean? It's just,
Aye,
once
it's-
you've got a bare bone, mate, you can work it for a bare bone, mate.
Aye, just get the template in it.
Aye, that's what it is, mate, innit? Back then we used to use MIDI files and all that and just load them in and change all the sounds and stuff. But nowadays you need to do it properly, man. It's a bit. There's so many good producers out there, man. It's like it's ridiculous, man. There's wee guys like 14-year-old. When I was 14, like I said, I was making absolute shit, man. Just couldn't even beat much. Nowadays these wee guys are putting out tunes better than what I'm making.
Aye, I
mate.
think they've
You're
got
like,
the
fuck,
top
mate.
technology, and plus you've got
Aye.
YouTube as well, so if you want to figure out how to do something, what is YouTube and just it'll show you how to do
It's
it.
crazy, mate. Aye. So times have changed, but I'm glad I done it all, man. Hopefully it's been for the good, man.
Aye,
Do you know
definitely, man. You still get people connecting with to this day.
Aye.
Is one question: how long do you still see yourself making music for? Rest of your life, or do you see like a kind of expiry date?
Probably until my wains get the cringe or something, man.
Oh, really?
All that. Until they go, Dad, fucking stop that, man. Do you know what I mean? But no, as long as I can, mate, because recently we've brought out stuff that's still on Spotify and that's relevant, man. Like I done a remix, what's it called? Sweet Bit Psycho.
Right.
About 3 years ago, and it ended up number 17 in the UK charts.
Did
man.
it, aye?
A lot of folk don't know that, man.
No,
Aye.
fuck,
It went right up the charts, man, and we got it resung and that. And
Fucking fair play, man.
Aye, we kept it going. It was one of the best remixes out of it at the time. So I know if I really want to do something, man, I've still got the input to get
Aye,
something
you still
big,
get the
man.
knack, still get the magic in your
But I
fingers.
think I'd probably go like a housey vibe or something, man, try and keep it relevant. Because
Aye.
nowadays you can't get a proper dance tune in the charts unless you're George Bowie, man. And you come out with fucking like bits and pieces for the World Cup or something. man, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
But I done a tune with George recently as well, man. I've had a few things, man, but I still make tunes every couple of weeks when I get a chance, man. But I do a lot of ghost producing as well. So people will come to me and say, can you make that for me? And give me backhander, man, just do that as well, man. But it's easier to do that and make your own name on it, man. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, there's less pressure.
You
in
kind
there.
of hope, man, these ghosty tunes go fucking mega.
Aye, go,
and
that's
you can
actually-
just, you
fuck
can just
you,
sit
money.
in the background, man. It's all day, man.
Rubbing
do you know
your
what I mean?
hands. So see the tunes you produce, is it all kind of dance tunes?
Yeah, most of them, mate.
Mostly, aye. Do you ever produce
Dance.
any other kind of tunes? Have you ever thought about maybe doing something a bit different, or is just dance your kind of bread and
That's
butter?
what I know, mate.
Aye.
So, I mean, I probably could, but I've just not got the time to sit about and
you're learning from scratch to a degree if you're doing something else, and as you say, you're already kind of established and you're a businessman and that, you've got the eye on my raver, so you've not really got the time, but different if
I'd
you've
rather do that sort of music, man, do you know what I mean? Because see, once you've got a basis, you can work on anything, man. Once you know, I know how to make a bounce tune, that's your fucking bread and butter, mate. So somebody goes, I want a remix of that, load it in, change a couple of things, fuck, easy, mate.
There you go.
It's all the same build-ups and drops, man. It's easier that way. But I would try something different, mate. Do you know what I mean? But
just see if
something has to challenge me, mate. Do you know what I mean?
It's one of the things. I imagine if the right thing comes and tickles your fancy, maybe
exactly.
if it goes, I can kind of attest to that. I'm not to the degree of yourself in that, but so if you hear something you're like, I can work with that, but it needs to connect with you.
Exactly.
If you need to be passionate.
I done that tune with Cutchy Cash.
The bucket tune.
Well, it's a boot bucket. A lot of folk don't realise that. Like, get me out my tits.
I thought that was the thing about it. It was the bucket tune.
Well, a lot of folk go to me, it's terrible. It's talking about wringing a bird's neck and all that. I'm like, no, he's talking about grabbing a bottle of wine, mate.
What the fuck? No, I'm not.
But a lot of think folk he's talking about like grabbing some bird and like.
Grabbing by the neck. Grabbing the neck.
Like, no, he's talking about a bottle of wine with the golden top and all that with the hair.
But is he talking about it like it's a bird?
But that's what they're thinking. They're thinking, it's about the golden top, like
you can tell these cunts have never done it. Look at the fucking amateurs.
And you're like, no, it's a bottle of wine, man.
But, so obviously, as we've spoke about the start of the podcast, you became a businessman during lockdown. You've opened up your own shop. What's it called again?
Get Stuffed.
Get Stuffed. I love it, man. You've opened that up. How was it making that transition from being a DJ to like a business owner?
It was easy, to be honest, mate, because I used to have like I said, I was a chef before years ago. Well, half-hour chef, mate.
A chef?
I was a commie chef. So I always thought I'd maybe go back to it. And then lockdown came about, so the gigs have cancelled, and I'm like, fucking hell, how am I going to make money here, man? I'm just sitting on Mars. And my missus is like, cook or something. I'm like, and a guy I know, it was actually originally Meet in the Middle.
Right.
Place in Ayrshire. Ross messaged me. He's like, do you want to take on a shop? So I was like, aye, fuck it, gives me something today. So I invested in that. We got a shop going in my town, Falkirk. They've got a few of them, they're still going. And then that wasn't really working, but it was the principle. It was doing like burgers and chips and just, it was good food, mate, good stuff. But because it was in Falkirk and where it was located, it wasn't doing very well.
Right, I see.
So that kind of fell on its arse, and I went, I'll just do it myself, man. So that shut down, and I just went and opened my own company, done another one. And took it for there, mate. I've never stopped, man. Just changed a couple of things, and I'm not saying what they were doing was bad, because it was a franchise though.
Aye.
Like, you're having to pay to a franchise, aren't you? So you're
kind of limited in what you can put in the menu as well.
So I thought, I'll just take it myself, and I've got the free reign. And then we just took it for there, man. We've done well, man. We've got a good rating. Just eating on
because I tried, obviously I done a review like when you first opened, man. The food, it was delicious. I really enjoyed it, man. See, in terms of like, opening up your own business, as you say, it wasn't a franchise, so you're having to really build it from scratch. What kind of challenges did you encounter?
That's mega, man, because you've got to learn how to do a lot of stuff, man. But at the same time, we had to build the shop and get flyers and all that. But the good thing is the big money there is quite handy. So I was like, do you want to build me a counter and all that? big marky boys like that, I'll do it.
Get your hands dirty.
Aye, and my stepdad and that helped us out and stuff. Got it going, man. But it's been great ever since. Recently, with your electric costs and all that, it's kind of fucked us up a wee bit.
Oh, has it? Aye. Imagine with the gas as well, man.
It's fucking ridiculous, mate. The prices they're wanting for businesses. This is why all the businesses are folding nowadays, because they can't keep up with the electric and the gas.
No, plus as well, because people are struggling as well, so less people are buying takeaway because they're needing to pay their own bills.
And it's no stock. It's literally gas and electric. Gas and electric can be £1,500 for a fucking shitty wee shop, mate. Do you know what I mean?
But just for the month?
Oh, easy, mate. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Because it's business rates, and that's how they're all folding and falling their arse, man.
So do you think that's another struggle you've encountered? Quite a recent struggle, you'd say?
But we're managing. But
you're still getting by with it then?
Getting by, but it's no easy, man.
I can imagine.
It's no easy. Oh, I mean, sometimes you're £1,200 for fucking 3 weeks of gas or something.
Fucking hell, man. Do you not get any like funding or grants to help?
They've not released anything that's going to help us yet.
Right, have they made any indication if they're going to?
They said they were going to, didn't they? But they never did.
It's all in the dark, innit? And that kind of thing. If you're a business and if you're losing money, you're like, I can't afford to sit and wait to figure out if you're going to make your mind up and that.
But we're doing alright, mate. Do you know what I mean?
That's the main thing, innit?
It's good, man.
The main thing, you can stay open. But see, right now you say you've opened this one itself. You're saying obviously there's a lot of cost in that involved. Was there any plans before like the gas and lecky in that shot. Was there any plans to kind of branch out and open my second show?
Oh, aye, mate, aye. We've got to franchise it, man. We've had a few offers, folk try to want to take a show on and franchise it and stuff, but I want to make sure we're in a position where it's mega before we do that, man.
Aye.
I mean, I don't want to just say, aye, go for it. And
I jump the gun and it ends up a bit of a risk. It ends
and
up
then that ends up a
backfiring.
shite show, and then fucking it comes back and catches us in the arse because they're pitting shit.
That's your brand, innit?
To me, it's all about quality stuff, man. So we keep our 5-star stuff all the time, mate. We don't go below it. Whereas I think that's where I went wrong with meeting in the middle. We just kind of dipping the toe in the business and let it fall below standards, man. So I thought when I date myself, I'm going to make sure it's fucking 5-star all the time, man. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, definitely. You find that with a lot of places, see when they just open, they're dynamite, and then as the time goes on, they get all the custom, then they just 40 fuck.
It's hard though, it's because it's like folk will complain about anything, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, I can imagine.
I do the same, man. So I mean, see if my food takes an hour and a half to get there and it said an hour, I'm telling them that food was pish, it was shite, who cares, even if it was good, mate. I want a fucking refund, that food was pish. You know what I mean? You would do the same, mate.
I've done it, mate. I've even done it when the food's been banging to get a refund.
You get hangry, didn't you?
So
I don't blame people. So you just... Whereas with the old shop, man, folk were waiting 3 hours for food and all that, and I was like, fuck. And the reason for that is they wouldn't let us turn the orders off, and it fucked us up, man.
Oh, really?
Aye.
Oh, so you're getting inundated
we're
with
getting
orders?
caned with us now. If we get to a certain point, we'll go, right, turn the orders off and just work it, just keep it sound, man. You don't want somebody waiting for more than an hour and a half for food.
No,
man.
of course. Time it gets freezing as well, man. Then, as you see, you get a pissed off customer. It takes somebody to write one bad review, and that's the first thing people read.
I know. Which I hate too, because like I said, man, one bad review can destroy a company, man.
That's what I see. See if I go in to get like something, if it's Just Eat or that kind of thing. I've started looking at the reviews and see if I see a cut of badgings. I'm like, I don't think so, mate.
That's what makes me want to eat somewhere as well, mate. I check the reviews before anything else, mate.
Aye, man, because there is some dodgy bastards out there, but people don't see who's behind it. They just see like the name, so it's like if Andy's clicking on it, they're not getting to see like right the food or the quality of the food. If you're ordering it online, it's kind of like a fucking lucky dip sometimes.
But that's what it is, mate. We're doing all right, man.
Good, glad to hear it. What do you think? What's the maddest thing you've had to deal with a customer?
Can we talk about that?
Just leave names out it.
Well, I'll be honest, mate. A guy came in about 2 months ago. He walked in the shop, man, just grabbed the top of the till. That was just me myself, man. He grabbed the top of the till and fucking pulled it down. What the fuck are you doing, man? He's like, fucking, what you got to do about all that? It was mad, like, eh? Right. So fucking... I'm not going to incriminate myself, man, but I went out and had a go with him, man. It's fucking...
Oh, really?
Aye, mate, aye. The hairdresser next door locked her door and all that, man. Fucking... I had to apologise to her and all that, but he didn't come back anyway, mate.
Fucking hell.
He was acting like he was going to rob the shop.
You can't come in and get a knuckle sandwich.
Basically, mate.
That's what it gets, man. So do you deal with a lot of mad cunts coming in and starting their shit?
That was the worst one.
Was that probably the worst, aye?
Aye, but it's fucking... I enjoyed it.
I know, if you're having a long day, like, I fucking came here.
I was like para for days. I got to come, man. Fucking raging.
At least you've got the CCTV in it. I'll fucking edit that bit out, man.
Deleted, mate.
But obviously, if you're not comfortable, I've got this next question. I can always edit this out. But I was going to ask you talk about you've had some struggles with alcohol in the past.
Aye, mate, aye.
When did this first become an issue for you?
It was never an issue, mate. I used to just do gigs every weekend, have a drink. And fucking that was just normal, mate. Because you go into venues, they've got drink on tap, and man, there's a case of beer or whatever. It was only an issue maybe about half a year ago. About that, man, where I felt I was dependent on it, man.
I see.
Even like I said with me, I was going to work and I fucking end up going, man, I need a beer. Do you know what I mean? You're sitting in the shop, steed, shop out the road, walk here, half bottle of wine, couple of cans, man, just sit there, and that's when I started thinking, this is a fucking issue, man. I'm literally drinking for the sake of it.
So did you recognise that right away?
Aye, right away, man. And then, like I say, like you'd notice it, man. I was hiding it for the wife and all that. I eventually told her about it. I'd go home and fucking couldn't associate with my wains and all that, man. I'd kind of feel I need to go straight to bed. It's stupid, man. Do you know what I mean? I got to a point where I was like, I'm relying on drink, man.
I
wouldn't call myself like an alkie. But I was at that point where I was like, I was just drinking for the fucking sake of it.
It was going that way.
Aye. And I thought, need to cut it out. And then I started the gym. Started going to the gym and that, man. That helped, man. That saved my life, to be honest, man. Just go to the gym, getting half a drink, gone that way, man.
Sometimes you need that. I noticed that. See, it's like the brain needs stimulated, and see, like going to the gym and that does stimulate the brain, because it's like we're not meant to just be sitting about doing fuck all. And alcohol, drugs, they do very well at distracting you for that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They can stimulate you.
I've been doing them for the last 20 years, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I stopped taking drugs a while ago, to be honest, but I think when I stopped taking drugs, the alcohol got worse. Because I used to drink a couple of beers back in the day, and then you'd get your gear and your pills, and that would sort you out, and you would just stop drinking, man. I was getting mad with it. Whereas when I stopped taking the gear and that's when I started thinking, I need to drink more.
I try to substitute it.
Everybody around me is fucking on the gear, whereas I'm sitting trying to drink to catch up with them, man.
Playing catch up.
And that's where it kind of spiraled, man. But I've never felt like an alcoholic.
I've never felt it. You were managed to recognise it was a problem early on, which is a good thing, because a lot of people would go, okay, I need this to do this shift, it's a fucking long day, excuse yourself, and then it's not till it becomes a fucking serious issue that you're like, right, I've got a problem where everything's felt to fuck, you bump your life to the ground.
It's like bored. I think that's the same for most folk, unless a lot of folk turn to drugs and alcohol because of stress, which is most of the time. Mm-hmm. Whereas me, it was boredom. It's just like, bored, man, what am I meant to do? Man.
Of course, it's too easy as well. You're your own boss, so nobody's there to fucking sack you.
Even before that, like, do you know what I mean? Like, even years back when I was like cooking in kitchens and that, me and my mates were going at the back and having a drink and that. Like, it became the norm, didn't it?
See, in kitchens, I think that is normal nowadays. Like people sniffing gear, taking fucking all sorts.
Well, I know in my kitchen, but I know I've heard of it, man.
It's get stuffed, not get sniffed, innit?
That's what it's called, get stuffed, mate. But it's well known, man. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm glad I didn't take any of that anymore, man, because that fucked you up. Like,
what was it? See, you said you stopped taking drugs a few years ago. What was the defining point that made you want to stop? But do you ever have a pure low moment where I was like, this is fucking me up?
Actually, when I met my wife, man, I was like, she wasn't into that, man. She's never took a thing in her life, man. Right. She's straight cut, man. Hardly drinks and all that. And I was like, I need to fucking screw it up here, man. I haven't no chance. So that's what put me off taking the gear and that. Basically.
Oh, nice one.
I still drank, and she knew that, but I stopped the gear, man, big time. Because it's not even that, man. I used to get dirty come downs and all that and feel like shit and stuff, man. You know what it's like.
So it was a long time coming, and that was just kind of.
Plus, it got too expensive, mate.
Definitely. Like, too strong and too expensive, man.
And I thought to myself, I'm going to kill myself, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I got to the point where I was freaking out taking the gear and that, and like taking tests off. Like, I used to buy tests online for bowel cancer and stupid shit like that, man. Thinking I'm going to die and all that, man. Fucking, I got paranoid as anything, man. And then you're fucking freaking out, and it's the drugs that do it, man.
You get to a point you're like, where am I enjoying this? I'm paying for this. It's not as if it's like man. I'm suffering first normal. I'm paying money to feel like this. You're like, where's the fucking come up here?
Plus the gigs, man. I wanted to enjoy the gigs and remember them, man. So with a drink, you still forget about things, man. But at least you were still remembering the mistake. Whereas when you took gear, if you were to take Kate or something, forget it.
But
man.
You ever DJ'd for like Kate?
Mate, I had to fucking cancel a gig because of Kate.
Really? How?
I've walked out and freaked out, man. Just walked back off and that.
Fuck, but during the set?
Mate, I had a few bad times.
What happened during the set?
I ended up taking it, man. The guy told me it was Charlie. And he's like, what? But to go and fucking walked out. Started like fucking, I was looking at everybody going, they're all staring at me, man. Don't know what to do. Can't touch the buttons on the decks or nothing, man. Just turn around to my mate. I'm like, you need to do this, mate.
Fucking hell, so did you save your skin that day?
Basically.
Just as well, shout out that cunt, man.
And you're like, fuck this shit, man.
No, defos, man. That's like, I couldn't imagine.
It doesn't appeal to me anymore, man.
No. You get older as well, seeing you get Waynes and that. I hear like humbles you, they're like, I'm responsible, you know what I mean? I can't be getting out of my box and be dealing with Waynes and that, where I fucking come down and shit like that.
It's kind of one of the things as well, like when they grow up, like I've said, are they going to think, fucking you done it, man? Do you know what I mean?
It's alright.
And you're like, how you might have that conversation,
I
did. But
you might like big example, didn't you?
I know. At least they're lassies, mate. They might be alright, man.
That's it. I hear lassies mature quicker than boys. And plus, Waynes these days, they're no daft. No, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the young team are still fucking mad on the hang me, but I'm noticing a lot when I'm looking at my nephews and shit like that, and they're all want to go to university and do this and that, and I'm like, when I was his age, I was in the jail, fuck's sake. I was getting full of sweat years and a fucking track, you know what I mean?
I avoided the jail, mate. Fuck knows how, man. Do you know what I mean?
Lucky to draw, just the jail, just for cunts to get caught.
You were a couple of times, weren't you?
A couple of times, I get caught a couple of times. I wasn't very good at breaking the law. That's it. I realised I wasn't very good at this, man, so I may as well stop.
Class, man.
So right now, as you say, you've got the IMRAver, you've got Get Stuffed in that. What are the plans going ahead for now? Anything on the horizon?
Just being a dad, mate. being an adult nowadays, man.
Responsibility taking over.
I'm fucking 37, I'm getting old.
Aye.
Being a husband, being a fucking a dad, man. Trying to be a fucking...
The family man, innit?
Being the family man. And then getting the shop going, that's my priority, keep it going. But obviously gigs are always going to be my thing, man.
Aye.
But trying not to drink at gigs is the hard
that's
thing,
the challenge, innit?
Like, see when you turn up at gigs and you're fucking... Every cunt's pissed, man. And
I
you're like,
know. They're drinking beers for the offset and you're like...
Aye. But it's good, man. I do enjoy it, man. But gigs have always got that environment where everybody's fucking on it, man, ain't they?
Aye, I know.
So
It feels like that. It feels, you almost feel like a weirdo.
I know.
But
like I said, I get more of a buzz out of it now going and doing it sober because you enjoy it and you remember it, man.
Aye.
And you're seeing folks' faces and recognising them. And
aye, you're not
taking
waking up the
it
next
on,
day
man.
fucking at death's
Aye.
door either, aren't you?
You can wake up in the morning and go to work, do you know what I mean?
Aye, that's exactly it.
Whereas, and even nowadays, like, I'll recognise people when I'm doing the gigs because I'm sober.
Uh-huh.
And they'll see me like 3 weeks later and go, I met you there, go, I remember. And
Aye.
I can tell them the story. Whereas, see, before I'd just stand there and go, fuck knows who you
they'll
are,
you
mate.
money, mate.
I don't know who the fuck you are, like, do you know what I mean? So it helps, man.
Do you ever think about getting your daughters into making music?
I don't know, man.
Just see if they come to you with rather than
Aye.
trying to kind of
Like,
push in that direction.
If I ever set the decks up and that in the kitchen or whatever, man, just for a mess about, like, because a lot of folk think you're a DJ, you've got a studio and all that, man. I've got, like, my thing just for making tunes, right? I didn't have decks set up or that. There's like stuck in the cupboard, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because I know how to do all that, man. So to me, it's just like, I hardly need to use decks, man, unless I'm doing a gig.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do set them up, the Waynes love it, man. They jump about and they love tunes and they press the buttons and all that. And stuff. And, like, I said to the wife a few times, I'm like, I'll teach the wee one how to DJ and that. And she's like, no, you're fucking not. She's like, no being fucking arseholes like you, man.
Well, that's you told then, innit?
But you never know, man. Never know.
Nah, you
I
never
wouldn't
know.
want them DJing, mate.
Really, no? Why just involved in that kind of culture? Suppose it's... I'm going to say it's different these days, is it? Fuck, man. But maybe I see people get a bit more... Because they've obviously got you as a kind of role model, as a guide, whereas before, when you were doing it, you maybe had a few people, like, kind of people that kind of guided you.
If they could sing or something when they grow up, man, I'll get them singing on tunes and make tunes for them.
Aye, definitely.
I'd teach them to produce music, but I wouldn't want them DJing or that, mate.
Aye.
Like, I don't know, man. There's so much stigma nowadays with all that shit, and you know what the world's going like, man.
Of course,
It'd be hard. Especially, like, I don't want my kids getting judged and all that for what they're doing. Like, I went through all that, man. It's hard. It'd be worse nowadays, man. It'd be so much worse nowadays coming up as a DJ than it was when I started.
Aye, social media and that, you're out there.
Aye, it'd be mega bad. Like,
I can imagine.
Anybody that comes up nowadays, mega respect for them, man, because it's hard. Whereas when I started out, it was like you could count on fucking two hands how many folk were doing it, man.
Aye, I suppose.
And nowadays you're into the millions, man.
That way, if somebody was to ever like try and... Nobody would really give you bad feedback as well, because they would need to do it to your face. That's the thing. It's like nowadays people fucking slaughter your shit because... Aye, exactly. We get disses back in the day, at least you get a bit of creativity with it, but I've not had a fucking good diss lately. Need a resurgence of the disses.
Revive it, mate.
I want to diss some cunt.
Who's a rival podcast?
Oh,
James
fuck.
English?
Yeah, maybe. I could diss James English, man.
Mate,
Get myself a couple of subscribers.
He's good, man.
I should just take like a Mayweather McGregor thing, you know what I mean? Make it all over rivals, but we're not actually like, right, I'm going to slaughter fuck it, you know what I mean?
Class, man.
But it was great chatting to you, obviously, as you say, you don't feel as if you're a part of the culture. I think with the PCDJ, and as you say, you were one of the first to do it. That is, right, nowadays we've got I Am a Raver and that, it's PCDJ was a thing, it was a phenomenon because, as I say, it wasn't experienced anywhere else in the world. It was only Scotland that experienced it, and you were a part of it, and it was a short period of time. It was over the space of 10 years.
Maybe less, mate.
Less than 10 years, know what I mean? So it was a small bit. It was like fucking the Beatles only done like 7 years, know what I mean?
It was just like here in Ireland, mate, wasn't it? It was just, that was it, man. Just kinda, even the bottom end of the UK, they weren't really interested.
It was just because
it went about as far as Newcastle, Manchester.
Aye. But see, in Scotland, it was hand in hand with the Ned culture, with the Mera Peaks, the Bucky, the fucking aqua scooping hats, the Lacoste trackies.
That's what it was, mate.
That's what sums it up. When you put on one of the tunes, that's what you're transported to.
Trackies and that tucked into your socks and that, man. That was the game, man.
That's exactly it, mate. Fucking, that's in fucking £2 a bit Eckies, man. That's what it defines for a lot of people. It was a large part of my growing up, know what I mean? When I hear it brings me back to that. So it's still kind of good to see that people are still interested in it, man, because it's like unique to Scottish culture.
So we're bringing the young ones back as well. Like, we'll do the Foo Bar, which is primarily students, and they still know who we are, mate.
Oh, really?
You're like, I feel old, man. I'm fucking 37, standing there, 18, 19-year-olds and that, and they're fucking singing every word to like I Am a Raver and like fucking Celebrate the Summer and all that, and it makes you feel good, man. You're like, it's probably their mum and dad that's grew up with it,
Aye,
man. But they
they've
know
got
the
them
tunes,
into it,
mate.
aye,
It makes me remember back when I was growing up, my dad was a punk. And I'm singing the fucking Sex Pistols and the Ramones and all that, thinking, what the fuck's this, man? They're doing the same thing.
Nah,
mate,
gives you
innit?
hope,
It's
gives you
what
hope for the
do,
future,
mate.
man.
Ah, that's it, man.
Definitely. So, have you got anything else you want to promote of that? I'm just going to wind it up.
I'm not into promoting, mate, just a shop.
Nah,
man.
where do you go?
Stuffed
Where can you
Falkirk, man.
find Get Stuffed?
Aye, Get Stuffed in Falkirk and I Am a Raver gigs.
What about online for Get Stuffed? Have you got a website? You got an app? Is it just Eat?
It's just Eat, mate.
Just Eat, Get Stuffed. I can attest the food is absolute bang bang, and as you say, you make it
smashed
yourself, so
Aye.
you're the man behind the flavour.
That's it, man. Come in and see me, man.
Aye, that's it. Come in, see him. Just don't grab the fucking till.
Don't be doing that again, man. I definitely.
He'll not be back in a hurry. That good.
Aye, but thanks very much for having us on.
No, it's an absolute
Like I said,
pleasure, man.
The day we went into jail and that, man, you were brand new. That's the first time I met you and that, and you came in and we fucking spoke to the. That's another podcast, though.
Oh, aye, definitely. The
That
time
was
me
a
and
good
DJ
day,
Rankin
man.
went into Berlin.
Aye, well, this is Berlin.
Aye, that's it, man. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you, mate. As I say, I'm a big fan, and you're a great guy to meet. And
Legend,
obviously,
man.
I love what you're doing with the business and that. And the fact you're still
Cheers.
thriving with the music all this time
Aye,
later,
mate,
man.
Still going.
So fair play to you, man. I wish
Cheers.
you all the best for the future.
You too, man.
Thank you for coming.
Cheers,
mate.
Fivo. Legend, mate.
DJ Rankin, people, like, subscribe, and don't
And the
get
mix.
wide. Catches.